Hi guys, this is Hamilcar coming at you with set 4 of the match between CJ Entus and STX Seoul. And this is going to be a game between mOvie and InteR.Calm on the map Neo Medusa. The set currently standing at 2-1 in favor of CJ Entus. We just saw a fairly convincing win by Sky High over Cal. And now we'll see if what's-his-face, Calm, can force it to an ace match. Calm probably the favorite in this game. Two other random white guys giving peace signs to the camera there. Calm has quite a bit of experience, over 100 pro games, and a winning record, 66 and 62 overall. And in his ZVP, he's 22 and 18, 55%, and his best matchup by a little bit. On the other hand, mOvie is relatively new, has only about 30 games, which he's split 15-15, but plays well versus Zerg, 7-4. So, if there's a matchup where he's going to pull it out against a more experienced player, this would probably be it. So we'll see what he can do. And I don't know, he's not looking terribly happy to be here right now. I don't know, maybe he didn't get enough sleep and wishes he was back in bed at the CJ Entus house. But I guess he's steeling himself to play a game of StarCraft. He's like, oh well, guess if I have to, I have to. And Calm's always struck me as sort of a weird-looking character, sort of a androgynous, alien-like presence, in a weird, multi-hued STX Seoul uniform. But we'll see. Game, I guess one of them is warming up. I think that's mOvie that's warming up. I can never tell which screen corresponds to which player in this 4-player split. No, wait, that wouldn't make any sense for it to be mOvie. Those are Zerg units. Calm's warming up. So now that he's warmed up, wow, I'm out of it. Now that he's warmed up, the game's gonna get started. And audio got cut off at that point, and I had to, or I'm sorry, video got cut off. I had to stop and restart. So hopefully I'll be able to sync stuff up for you guys, so you won't, so things won't be out of sync later in the game. But anyhow, the match is actually about to get started now. And the map, Neo Medusa, is one where we've seen a lot of fun action in PvZ, particularly with Zergs taking advantage of those temples guarding the entrance to the area behind the Protoss main. And attacking early on with Zerglings, and then sneaking in with lurkers or Hydraling raids or whatever to try to put pressure on the Protoss main or the Protoss mineral only third. In any case, we'll see whether it's very possible that Calm could decide to go for something like that in this game. mOvie is spawning in blue. Seems like an appropriate color for some reason. I'm not sure why. I always feel like players sort of associate with colors in my mind, and I think of mOvie, I mean, maybe just thinking of the name, it seems like sort of blue color, blue player, I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy, but Calm spawning in yellow at about the 7 o'clock. Calm doesn't really seem yellow. Yellow's not a calm color, yellow's a hot color. So one player in appropriate colors, one player not, and that Overlord is just paused in the middle of the map. I'm not sure why. And now it sees that probe, and it ought to be moving up to scout the location where that probe came from. I'm not sure what Calm's doing with that Overlord. Calm's going for a 9 pool, though. Maybe he just didn't want that Overlord to get spotted to give away where he was, but he's going to be scouted anyway. So mOvie's going to see the 9 pool coming, and yeah, he's putting down a forge, or about to put down a forge now. So he's going to be well prepared. Even so, this is sort of the one of those things where the player has an option to sacrifice some economy to go for an early pressure, build, and it really is sort of a no-lose proposition, because even if they don't get effective harassment off, even if they're not able to pull off a Zergling run-by, they at least do force the Protoss player to sacrifice some econ of their own, go for those forge and those cannons first. Oh wow, mOvie doing a great job with that probe, preventing that hatchery from going down. And yeah, wow. Yeah, Calm thought he had it, and their probe just came back again. Finally, the probe going away decided he's given that Zergling, or that drone, excuse me, a hard enough time, and the drone is able to put down the hatchery. In the meantime, though, it looks like mOvie might have gone for his Nexus before the cannon. Ling's pressing up, and only one cannon is going to be up by the time they get there, so this might be a little bit... No, okay, the Zerglings are just chasing the probe, so this is the risk, I guess, that Zerg players run, because sometimes they just assume that Protoss players are going to play defensive in response to a 9 pool, and they think that just by virtue of having put down that pool and getting those Zerglings out, they're going to force the Protoss player to make cannons before Nexus and play cautiously. But then they go for that probe, and if the Protoss player has decided to take a risk and not invest in a lot of defense, then the Protoss player can come out with a little bit of an advantage. Which I think is what's happening here. I think mOvie is probably in a little bit of a lead early on. Not anything that'll inevitably determine the outcome of the game or anything, but Probe Scout finally getting picked off. Meanwhile, very quick layer attack coming from Calm. So we might see Mutalisk Harass, possibly, 2-hatch Mutas. I don't know. I don't play Zerg enough to really have a good sense of what build Zerg has access to, but I feel like Mutas would be the better option than Lurkers in this situation, especially given all the ridges behind the Protoss main and natural that allow Mutas to get in some good harassment on this map. Second gas going up. Oh, and a Hydralisk then, so I guess we are going to see Lurkers. So much for my ability to predict builds. So we're going to see some early Lurker pressure. Second gas going down now for mOvie and a Stargate. So he's going to get Corsairs out. He's going to see this coming relatively soon. I guess the Lurkers could be intended to break through the back. They're not going to have a lot of success pressing up against the front with those cannons there in place. But if they can break through the temples, then that allows Lurker-Ling combo to be very effective in the back. And Ling's doing very aggressive scouting denial. So we'll see what tech mOvie goes for to complement this Stargate. If he puts down a robotics facility, goes for some sort of, say, a Reaver, then I think he'll be in very good shape, because he'll be able to get those observers out quickly. If he goes for Templar Tech, and it looks like he is going for Templar Tech, Citadel of Adun going down, he might be in a little bit more trouble, because he won't have anything to counter those Lurkers all that effectively. If he has a High Templar with Storm out quickly, they can do a little bit, but without observers, they're pretty inefficient. It takes 2 storms to kill a Lurker, and Templar, it takes a while for Templar to build up the energy for 2 storms. So it looks like mOvie's thinking about taking that third base now. Third cannon going down, and that cannon is in a nice forward position that's going to prevent Lurkers from picking away at that forge and gateway. Meanwhile, about 5 Lurkers morphing out in the field, and this Corsair is going to spot out the Hydralisk den and probably see what's coming. It's way too late for this to be a 2-hatch Hydra build, so I think mOvie's going to know that his Lurker is coming out. And he's going to be able to pick away that Overlord. Oh, cannon going down in the back, yeah, so I think he is anticipating this break through the temples. Yep, and that's what it's going to be. 5 Lurkers setting down there. That Overlord sees the cannon going down. Yep, and now the Corsair is scouting out the temple, sees that damage coming down, and I think mOvie's going to have to get up a couple more cannons. 1 cannon is not... Yeah, okay, yep, he thinks the same thing. 4 cannons going up there for mOvie, and if those 4 cannons all warp in time, then I think they'll I don't know, though. That's a lot of Zerglings, and oh boy, mOvie might be in some serious trouble here. Putting down a gateway to block. If he puts down another building to block there to the south of those cannons, that might... Yes, pylon goes down just in the nick of time, and this defense might just hold. Oh, I don't know. The Zerglings are running in. No, it's not going to hold. The Zerglings are taking down the cannons. 2 cannons down, a 3rd cannon about to go down, 3 cannons down. Oh man, Zella's there in the nick of time. The 4th cannon goes down. But, oh man, the lurkers are still there, still pounding away. I don't know if he might have lost 1 or 2 lurkers, it looks like. But now he's going to be able to plop down there, and no observer tech. Wow, nothing mOvie can do. He's got to just run those probes out of there. And mOvie's in a lot of trouble now. Calm doing a great, excellent job with this harass. High Templar is out, so eventually energy will be up. Dark Templar trying to sneak in. Oh man, Dark Templar gets picked off very quickly. mOvie's in a ton of trouble here. Last cannon goes down there at the main. And